How much do you know about the Lost Boys on the Neverland? First up, we have Slightly. Slightly is described as quite possibly a genius. He would often make his own whistles out of the branches of trees and dance to tunes he created. He is the most conceited of the boys, and it's given his nose an offensive tilt. He thinks that he remembers life before he was lost. Slightly got his name because the clothes that he was lost in had an inscription in the back which read, "Slightly soiled," and everyone assumed that was his name. At the end of the story, in the fight with the pirates on board the Jolly Roger, Slightly runs around with a lantern counting how many pirates are dead. Next up we have Tootles! Tootles was the most unfortunate of all the Lost Boys because a lot of the big adventures seemed to happen when he had stepped around the corner. But he does have a very sweet nature and is very humble. Near the end of the story, Tootles stands up for Wendy when the rest of the Lost Boys are trying to force her to stay on the Neverland. Tootles is also the one who shot down Wendy at the beginning of the story. Next up we have Nibs, described as gay and debonair. Nibs remembers that his own mother used to say that she longed for a checkbook of her own and really wishes that he could have given her one. Nibs at one point was chased by wolves and all the other Lost Boys had to help save him by looking at the wolves between their legs. Nibs is also very fond of white rats and at one point jokes that he would rather the character had been a white rat than the character of Mr. Darling in the story Wendy tells. Next we have Curly, a very mischievous Lost Boy. Curly was responsible for so many mishaps that over time he started presenting himself as the culprit whether he had done it or not. Curly also says, "I thought it was only flowers that die," when the Lost Boys are looking at the dead body of Wendy. Lastly, we have the twins. Peter never quite understood what twins were, and because the rest of the boys were not allowed to know anything that he didn't, these two always kept close together in a sort of apologetic kind of way. The first twin is the intellectually superior of the pair and is also the best dancer of all the boys. The second twin has a shyer nature, is often a telltale, and is never referred to by any pronouns in the play. If you want to know what happened to all of the Lost Boys, Wendy, John and Michael, after they left the Neverland and grew up, check out my other video on when they grew up.